Hi guys. I'm just checking the machinery and how it is going to be working. Basically going through all the tests now with the equipment. So I'd appreciate if I could get any feedback. Okay. Now basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some different programs here and talk about my to support you much better. Although you see me and talk to me, it would be nice if you could fill out the support form that I've put here. It's supporting maths. It's basically what I need from you is your email just to see who it's coming from, what you're studying, what higher or foundation, so I can best support you. Also, what I need to know from you is basically what area is your strength or weakness, and what exam board. It's important to use the exam board so I can actually see basically how to support you. I'm going to go through some different series just to test that my program is working effectively. So okay, what we're going to look at is a continuation on fractions. Fraction, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So basically what I'm going to talk about here is what is mixed numbers. What is mixed number? That's the key thing here. What is mixed numbers? So hopefully you can see here what is mixed numbers. Okay, sorry about this. I'm just, it's a technical glitch here. I'm just making sure everything is working. So, basically, what is mixed numbers? Okay, what is mixed numbers? So, for example, um, the last lesson that we were looking at is adding fractions. So we're going to look at adding mixed numbers. So mixed numbers, for example, we got 3.5. Okay, how do I turn, right, 3.5? This is known as mixed number. So that is known as mixed numbers there. Okay, so how can I change mixed number into, right, top heavy fraction? So it's going to be bottom times top. So bottom times top, bottom times side, add top. Sorry about that. So you got 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. So now that becomes a very single fraction. Now it's top heavy, so you go back to the same process of how to add fraction. So if we look at a couple more example, we got here 4 and 1/5. How do I turn this into a top heavy fraction? We turn this into a top heavy fraction. Turn this into a top heavy fraction by doing 5 times 4 plus 1. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21 over 5. Next, 3 and 2/5. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 is 17 over 5. Okay. Okay, come back on now, done? It's back on now. Okay. Right. Oh, is this sound? Oh, is this sound? Sorry. It's sound all right. Okay. Okay. Let me just flow with it. Right. Sorry about that, guys. What I'm going to do now is actually work through the first question. So we got here 1 and 1/3 minus 7/8. So before we can add or take away, Okay, before we can add or take away, what we need to do is to turn the mixed number, right, into top every fraction. So you got a single fraction here. So what we're going to do, we're going to times bottom times side add top. So we got 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. Take 7 over 8. Now my next step here, if you go back and look at the previous video, you can see here, is the bottom number the same? No. So we need to find the lowest common denominator of 3 and 8. So the lowest common denominator of 3 and 8 is 24. My advice is go back and look at the previous video where we add and take away fraction. The golden rule here, the denominator, which is the bottom number, need to be the same. So now I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to times by 3 to get 24? And that's going to be 8. Right, 8 times 3 is 24. The same thing I do to the bottom, the same thing I do to the top. So what is 8 times 4? And if you're having problem with the calculation, look at the timetable song. This is the reason why I've produced that timetable song to help you. So you do 4 times 8, right, that's 32. Now look at 8. What do I need to times by 8 to get 24? So that's 3. The same thing I do to the top, the same thing I do to the bottom. So 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. So now I can take away, right, the numerator. So if I take away the numerator here, you can see that 21 from 32, the answer is 11 over 24. Okay, let's just look at the next question here. Right, the next question I'm going to look at, here is two third plus 4 over 7. So if I go through the steps now, I can see step 1, right? We got a mixed number, right? Before you can add or take away fraction, right? Get rid of the mixed number. So step 1, to turn the mixed number into top heavy is bottom times side add top. So you got 3 times 2 is 6, add 2 is 8 over 3, right, and plus 4 over 7. Next question I'm going to ask myself, right, do they have the common, right, denominator? No. So we need to find the lowest common denominator of 3 and 7, and that's 21. Okay, and as I remind you, go back and look at my previous video. So now I'm going to ask myself, what did I times by 3 to get 21? Right, I times 7 times 3 is 21. The same thing I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So what do I need to times by? 7 times 8. So again, go back, look at my timetable if that help you, right? And if you're struggling with timetable, you do your 2 times, you do your 4 times, and you do your 8 times. So if I go through the process to help you here, 2 times 7 is 14. If I double 14, I get 28. If I double 28, I get 56. So can you see the simple process how I use doubling to help me to do 8 times 7? Now next I need to do 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 4 is 12. So I need to now add the top number, right? So because you can actually write the denominator. The denominator is 21 without thinking, right? So that's the golden rule when adding and taking away a fraction. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, okay, I'm going to ask you, right, to add these two together. So you add the denominator, right? The denominator remains the same. You add only the top, which is the numerator. So we got 56 plus 12. So 1 plus 2, that's 8. That's great. And you got 1 plus 5 is 6. Now, that's a top-heavy fraction. At this stage here, you need to divide. So how many 21 can go into 68? So straight away, when you looking at your multiplication, you should look at 3 times 2. Right, that's 6. So 3 times 20, that's 60. So 3 times 21, right, gives you 63. So you know that it's going to go in, right? If I put the answer up here, it's going to go in 3 times, right? And you're going to have a remainder of 5, 12. Okay, so it's 3 and 5, sorry. 3 and 5 over 21. Okay, now as I said, I'm just testing the hardware and to see how the hardware, so I'd appreciate if you can comment on these videos, right, as I work my way through these. Okay, now we're looking at the next question. The next question you got there, right, it is 1 2/3 plus 2 1/4. So you notice here mixed numbers. So step one, what I'm going to do is change all of these mixed numbers, right? Change these mixed numbers into top heavy fraction. So to do this, I'm going to do bottom times side add top. So 3 times 1, that's 3, plus 2, that's 5 over 3, plus 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 4. Next step, do we got the same denominator here? No. So we need to find the lowest common denominator of 4 and 3, so that's 12. Now, the next question I'm going to ask myself, what do I need to multiply? What do I need to multiply by 3 to get 12? So that's 4. The same thing I do to the top, the same thing I do to the bottom. So 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, what do this side? Again, exactly the same procedure. So again, we do 4 times 3 gives me 12, so I need to do 3 times 9, which is 27. So you can see here, without thinking, you write the denominator down. So here you can see, right, you got 20 plus 27, so that's 47. Now, I'm going to ask myself here, what do I need to do? Okay, leave it like that, or I can turn it into mixed number. How many 12s can go into 47? So we do 12 into 47 goes 3 times. 3 times 12 is 36, so we got 11 over 12. The same thing that worked for addition is the same thing that worked for taking away. So if I should write out the next question, nice and easy, like Sunday morning. So the same procedure. The same procedure worked for addition, worked for takeaway. So what I'm going to do now is have a go at this takeaway for you. So we got 3 and 2/3 take 1 and 1/5. Okay, so step 1, I'm going to turn the mixed number into right top heavy. So basically I'm going to do 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11 over 3. Take away 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6 over 5. Next step, the question I'm going to ask myself here, is the denominator the same? So I need to work out the lowest common denominator of 3 and 5. So 3 and 5 is 15. Take away 15. So what did I do here to get 15? 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 times 11 is 55. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. So the denominator remain the same. And we go through the basic here, because some of you don't know to take away. So let's just go through the basic, right? So if you see that and you're struggling, so 8 from 5 you can't, so you borrow 1 and you say 8 from 15. 8 from 15 is 7, right? 1 from 4 is 3. So the answer is 37 over 15. And now I'm going to say 15 into 37 goes 2 times. 2 times 15 is 30, so the answer is 2 and 15. 2 and 7 over 15. Now what I'm going to do, I've got 2 lovely questions for you to have a go at if you're following me. And then what I will do is ask you to give me some feedback, because I'm just checking the hardware to see how best, right, to support you. So we got 1 takeaway, and you got an addition here, I like you to have a go. Have a go at the addition, have a go at the takeaway, right? Couple of minutes, right? And then I'll put the solution up. One addition, one takeaway. Okay, so if we should look at A here, if we should look at A, you got right, if we should look at A, you got 1 and 1/3 take away 7/8. So we need to turn 1 and 1/3 into top every fraction. So I do 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3, take away 7/8. Then I work out the lowest common denominator of 3 and 8 is 24. So 24, so what did I do? I times 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 8 is 32, 3 times 8 is 24, 3 times 7 is 21, and then I take away 21 from 32, I get 11/24. Okay, now the next question here, which is 2 and 2/3 plus 4/7. So step 1, bottom times side add top. So 3 times 2 is 6, right? And then you add the 2, right? That's going to give you 8/3 plus 4/7. So the next step, what I'm going to do here is, what is the lowest common denominator of 3 and 7? So it's going to be 21. So what did I times by to get 21? And what did I times by here? Okay, so basically we times again here. 3 times 7, that's 21, and then 7 times 8, 6, 3 times 7, 21, 3 times 4, that's 12. So 56 add 12, it's going to give me 68. Okay, the volume, okay, I'll just check if the volume is working. I'm going to switch to
Mr. Curtis
Oh, when
Dawkins.
you find
This is Tennis
yourself
Star.
in-
if I switch to one of my YouTube channel videos just to check the volume.
Mr. Curtis Dawkins. This is Tennis.
Okay guys, this was just a test just to check that the hardware is actually working. What I'm going to do is actually go through, this is just to check that the hardware is actually working. Basically, the sound, I've heard this not coming through, so what I need to do is actually set up the chat room and actually go through the process again. So this is the first test. Hopefully I should come online again soon, right? So basically would be nice if I can get some comment on this. I'll just leave it for you to see and criticize. I'm quite happy for you to criticize the quality, the how it's been explained. I'm just working with some different hardware here. I just need to see what best, and it's just I have to go and just try and just make sure to see that it's actually working. So now that I've seen it working, I just need to tweak it to see the best quality